What's going on, guys, and welcome back to DriveHub. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to transform the front end of your C5 from this into this, thanks to SharpLight innovations. I think of the C5 Corvette in the same way that I think of Scarlett Johansson. Sexy, very sexy. But the front daytime running lights or corner marker lights, whatever you want to call them, just weren't tickling my fancy on the C5. It was in fact really one of the only ugly parts that I thought were on this car from the factory. So today, thanks to SharpLight innovations, I'm going to be installing these clear corner marker lights with an LED strip built in. They're going to give it a much more updated look, and I'm really excited to get these in. And if you're interested in putting a set on your C5, then be sure to click the link down in the description below. So now it's time to get these installed. Okay, so once the car is jacked up, there are 5 bolts that need to be removed to remove this access panel. One up here, another one up here, and down below you have this one in the corner, which for some reason mine didn't have. This shares a mounting bolt with the chin spoiler. Not this one. You need this one. Skip that one. You need that one. They're all 7mm. Pull those off and you'll be able to pull off this access panel. Access panel goes right out like that. Now we can see everything. So now all you have to do is reach up, untwist the side marker bulb there. There's one. Second one up here. Goes down from the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the 10mm bolt there, as well as right there, and then we'll be able to remove the marker light. Okay, so the easiest way to get to the bolt that's up here holding the marker light on is to just push the brake duct down and in. Then you can go under through here. You're going to need a ratchet extension, and you'll be able to remove the other one that's right in this corner up here. So now with the bolts removed, just push the light in. And there's a retaining spring up top. Just reach in, and it'll come off very easily. So far what we've done, we've jacked the car up, we've moved the wheel, and I've removed the 5 bolts that hold the access panel down below. Then we reached up, we removed the bolt holding the light here and here. Then we pulled out both the lights and pulled the bulbs out from their sockets. Don't forget about this retaining spring up here that holds the light into place. Once you get both those bolts out, all you have to do is pull the spring down and remove it. Now what we have to do is remove these 2 7mm bolts from this black bracket and put it onto the new light. Take the new light, place it the exact same way the factory one laid out, line up our holes, and fasten the new light to the bracket. Needs a little bit of messing around with to get everything to line up just right. Now these SharpLight Innovations marker lights are very, very unique because they have an LED strip that's lit up at the bottom. That's what this harness here is for. The kit comes with everything you need to install these and wire them, and it's actually very, very easy to wire. I just wasn't able to do it while holding the camera. So included in the kit is these wire splicers. All they do is clamp onto the correct wire, and they have female connectors on the ends. I'll include a wiring diagram for this that was sent to me by the president of the company down in the description below, so you make sure that you don't mess this part up. But we're just going to take the supplied bulbs. The larger one obviously goes in there. The smaller bulb here. Let's just press in. Make sure not to touch the actual bulb itself. Now we're going to take this part of the harness. This end connects to the end coming out of the LED strip at the bottom of the light. Just clips in like so. Then we're going to take the 3 wires with male connectors and plug them into the connectors coming off of the factory light socket. And I'm not sure if your car's wiring colors are going to be different, but in my case, black is the ground for both. So we'll go ahead and plug the ground in. Easy as that. Brown goes to white. And the leftover yellowish orange, whatever you want to call that, goes to green. Press those in, they might go in a little snug, that's no problem. Now the controller coming off the harness here does have some adhesive on the back, so you can pull that off and mount it somewhere in there so it's not hanging around. You can do that wherever you'd like on your car, that's all personal preference. Just keep it out of the way and make sure it's not in the way of the headlight motors so that when they pop up, they don't pull this with it. Now we're going to go ahead and put the bulbs back into their socket. I'm going to just rest this in here, turn the lights on, and make sure all the wiring is correct and everything's working before I go ahead and hard mount this in. So it looks like the LED strip is working, the corner light's working. I'm not sure if I have that bulb in incorrectly or it's not seated properly. I know with LEDs sometimes you have to disconnect them and change the polarity and plug them back in. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the lights off, pull that out, and see if that does the trick. So I went ahead and switched the bulb around. All I did was pull it out of its socket, twist it and put it back in, and now the light is working, and man do these things look incredible. I can't wait to get both sides in and see how they look. Now this is what the lights look like with the turn signal on. These things look absolutely amazing. What a look they add to the front end of the Corvette. Now I do realize that they're hyper flashing. I do have a hyper flash harness that I'm gonna put in sometime. Okay, so I sort of messed up and it looks like the easiest way to get this light back in is actually up through the bottom, up through the access panel that we removed earlier. So I'm just gonna quickly disconnect the harness and feed the light up through the bottom here, if it will even fit. And it looks like it will. So I'm actually gonna rest all the lights and harnesses in here as I actually mount the light in. And there goes the spring. So what I'm gonna start to do is reach up under the brake duct, as I said, and start to thread in this 10mm bolt that mounts right down here. Let me get it started by hand. I can reach up. Might actually be easier. My hands are kind of big, not to brag, to go up through underneath. So that's what I'm going to try now. A little helpful hint here. For one of the bolts that's quite high up and kind of hard to thread in, take a little piece of tape, attach it to the end of the socket onto the screw, and that way you won't drop it. So now the lights are in, they're in their correct sockets, they're all wired up. So now we're just going to pull the brake duct, put it back in its position. Here, it snaps back into place like that. Then we're going to go underneath and put the access panel back on. So now now I'm gonna do the exact same process as the driver's side on the passenger side. I'm gonna turn the wheel or move the access panel down beneath, remove the bolt here and here, unplug the light bulbs from their sockets, pull the harness down, and then shimmy the light out. So as I said, these splicers that come in this kit, extremely easy to use. This was my first time using them, but they're incredibly easy to use. So all you gotta do is expose the wires, roll this tape back for the factory turn signal socket. Then you just take these, close it like that. Make sure it's on the wire, and I need a little help from some pliers. Just squeeze it until the clip connects. You're gonna do that to all three of these wires. And to keep this nice and clean and neat, I'm gonna make sure all the female ends are facing the same direction. And if for some reason you break one of these, they're from 3M, should be able to get them in any hardware store. Again, just a little bit of pressure to make sure that it seats on the other side. So now we're gonna take the harness for the LED strip. We're gonna plug it into the correct sockets. Use the wiring diagram that I'm going to put a link for in the description below, because these wires actually are different colors compared to the other side, which is kind of odd. Okay, so those are all plugged into the correct spots. Now we're going to take the light, feed it up through underneath, and get it secured in there. Might have to go underneath to actually get this thing mounted in. Guys, so that concludes the install of the SharpLight Innovations daytime running lights, corner marker lights, whatever you'd like to call them, on the C5 Corvette. These things look absolutely killer. I love the look and I was so excited to get these in. Huge shout out to George from SharpLight Innovations for sending these out. These daytime running lights with the mixture of the LED fog lights from SharpLight Innovations as well make the front end of the C5 look absolutely incredible. I am absolutely in love with the look of my Corvette now. If you guys are interested in either these daytime running lights or the LED fog lights from SharpLight Innovations, I'll include a link down in the description below. Stay tuned for more content with the C5 Corvette. But that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy motoring.